Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. One of the Premier's top aides is under criminal investigation. And my constituents think that's pretty serious. So does the OPP and Elections Ontario and federal Crown prosecutors. And where I come from, when someone is accused of something and they're in a public position, like one of the most powerful non-elected positions in this province, when they're under investigation, where I come from, they step down until the investigation is over. But why? What does it take for the Premier of this province to do actually what in most places would be normal practice and have that person step down until the investigation is over?
Thank you. Premier?
Deputy Premier.
Deputy Premier.
Well, Speaker, again, let's go back to what's actually happening here. What's happening is that the Chief Electoral Officer has called the allegations against two people baseless. The Premier and Mr. Thibault, those allegations have been considered baseless. There are two other investigations going on, Speaker, and this we are fully cooperating with these investigations. I think if when an allegation is made, Speaker, that does not make it true. Anyone listening today would think that there had already been a conviction, for heaven's sake. There is an investigation underway. We're fully cooperating with the investigation. The Premier has said if, in fact, a charge is laid, then that changes the story. But I think, Speaker, that what's important is that there's an investigation underway, and we are completely cooperating with that investigation.
Supplementary.
Once again to the Premier. The Premier has refused to accept any responsibility for her actions in this matter. She's protecting Pat Sudbury and Jerry Lougheed from this scandal. And the Premier apparently doesn't see any problems with Andrew Olivier being offered a job to get out of the way, even though the law is clear. But for my constituents, the biggest issue is we to be held to a higher standard. The people who are involved in this investigation need to step back so the investigation appears to be open and transparent. The words we hear all the time from your government. Again, why don't you take normal practice, force these people to step aside until the investigation is complete? Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. And you know, the Premier has received lots of advice on this, and I think both opposition parties have been very generous in their advice. That advice has been heard. You heard from the Premier today that she did take that advice seriously, and then she really thought through the issues here. She took a thoughtful, principled, ethical approach. She made the determination that when allegations are baseless, as she knows them to be, she will let that investigation unfold, but she will not force the resignation of someone when the allegations against that person are baseless, Speaker. So I actually think our Premier has demonstrated a new and different and better way, not an easier way, but a better way of dealing with opposition allegations, Speaker.